Hi everyone, welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of The Inside Job. This week's episode sees our first repeat guest in Stephen Uppal. Stephen closed out Season 1 as a special guest in our season finale. You will remember, in that episode, Ayana and Stephens' discussion revolved around Stephen's career as an actor. In today's episode, they focus more on Stephen's entrepreneurial exploits, namely his popular fitness and lifestyle brand, Key of Life. In this episode, Stephen shares the inspiration behind his brand and explains his views on the importance of physical fitness in the pursuit of living a fulfilling and successful life. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Ayana Ritchie and Stephen Uppal.
Today, I am honored to have our very first repeat guest here on The Inside Job. You might remember him from Season 1, the season finale. As I mentioned then, he is a classically trained British actor, producer, director, and writer. But what some of you, including myself, did not know is that he is also an entrepreneur, a successful life coach with a lifestyle and clothing brand named Key of Life. Please join me in welcoming once more to the show, Mr. Stephen Uppal.
Thank you. Do you know what? Like, no matter how many times you hear that, it just like makes you. We're so self-conscious, aren't we? Classically trained and this, it just makes you go, oh God. But thank you for saying all those things. But it'll never change that. Like, oh. But yeah. So.
Well, that's good. The key is you always remain humble.
And I didn't realise I was your first repeat guest, so I'm very honoured to be that. Thanks for having me back.
Yes, you are. We're still getting a lot of likes and viewers from the season finale. Funny enough, it's almost doubled since the season finale. So everyone loves it. My mom, she calls me when she watched it and she goes, boy, it was like a movie, but I loved it.
And ain't nobody more truthful than mother. Like, we all know that. What does that sound like? Terrible, son. Keep trying, yeah.
No,
I remember those.
I
remember those days. You know, being younger. Oh, Mum, what does this look like? Have you got anything? Yeah. The truth.
Anything else?
The
yeah.
truth.
No, that would be my mom. She would just go, yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
She goes, you have gotten so much better. And she's like, I love this season finale. It was great. I watched it, she goes, it took me 2 sittings, it was kind of long.
Yeah.
But she goes, you know what, I wouldn't have edited anything out. So I'm so honored that you came back again. But now we are talking about his entrepreneurship, which you kind of touched on a little bit in the finale about being a jack of many trades and making sure you have plan A, B, C, and this is one of them. Key of Life. For those of us who don't know what Key of Life is, what it's all about, can you tell us about how it came to fruition and why?
Absolutely. So it's based on an Egyptian symbol which looks similar to this. Which basically means life. It's a symbol for life in ancient Egypt. I can't pronounce it, but it's the Ankh, A-K-T-H. That's what the actual symbol is called. And for a very long time, as we discussed in the season finale, I've always believed that we have to find a balance. You can't be. There's got to be seasons of change. So there may be a season where you look after your health. And that has to be the priority. And then whilst you're maintaining that, a season where you focus on your businesses, your financial side of things, a season where you focus more. So you're doing everything, but more focus on relationships. So the Key of Life basically is based on what I believe, for me personally, the 4 fundamentals of living a well-balanced life, which is health, number 1, and that's a number 1 priority, because without that, nothing else matters, right? Nobody wants to be the richest human in the graveyard. It's just pointless. Then wealth, and that's not just financial wealth, wealth of literature, wealth of music, wealth of friendships, and that develops love, insane love. Do you know, people, they can say, oh, I love you, and there can be a surface love. But for me, true love, it's not necessarily about a relationship. There's many different kinds of love. But for me, one of my ideas of true love is this, which you can't see at the moment. It's a piano here. I've been playing it for a year. And this is when you know you love something, when you'll do it behind closed doors, when nobody else is watching. For me, that is true love. You'll see a lot of couples, bless them, the young ones who, when you're younger, you're just attracted physically, right? You look good.
I like the way how you look at me when you say
younger. Oh, the husband's behind the camera, so like, don't do that, you'll kick my butt. But yeah, when you walk in that, and it's all for sure for the outside.
Yeah.
But true love is when you can sit at your worst at home with your partner and still love them, still want to go, do you want a cup of tea, love? Do you want something to eat? That kind of thing. And I can't remember who said it, but I'll never forget this. After I had a breakup, I was watching many like YouTube things and reading many books, and one of the speakers said, make sure that the woman who is sat next to you in your Rolls Royce is the same woman who'd be sat next to you on the bus if things went wrong. And that is true love. Health, wealth, love. And those 3 combined, happiness. True happiness for me is like progress and all those. So the key of life is a balance between those 4 fundamentals of living your true purpose, your true life.
Health, wealth,
love,
unconditional love,
yeah, and happiness.
Yeah, the keys to success right there. And you know, just listening to you talk about the key of life and what it means, and just following you on social media, on your social media platforms for the past few months, you are very passionate. It's very clear that key of life is a way of life for you. You're very passionate about it, and you're very driven. Is there something that happened in your personal life that has given you this mission, you know, this goal to help other people on their journey to fitness, heaven, or success, as you might call it?
Honestly, many things, but I'll try and put it into a nutshell. If you want to know the more bigger picture, there's an About Me section on the website. I'm sure you'll put a link in the thing for that. But literally, when I was a young boy, I had 3 older brothers who were all into fitness, and I had no interest. I'm a bookworm, and I still am to this day. Creativity of the arts is my life and soul. That is my number 1 passion. But growing up in an affluent, well, not an affluent, a working class, predominantly white area in the 80s and 90s, it was, you already stuck out like a sore thumb. So to fit in, you know, it was nigh on impossible. And because I was a chubby kid, I got bullied a lot more, not just because of the colour of my skin, but because of my weight. So my 3 older brothers, and thank God they did, they tortured me, because I come home crying and stuff and upset, feeling weak, feeling like a loser, and they tortured me from a place of love to get fit, and because they pushed me to a point where there was no return, something clicked, and I started to feel the mental benefits of this exercise, and then started to see the difference, and just everything opened up, and it's been my foundation from that moment, from that turning point. It's been my foundation. Everything that I've been successful in, the reason why I'm so passionate, it comes from a base level of health and fitness. It has given me everything I've got in life, and anytime I've got new goals, like setting up the Key Life website, writing my next script, the day starts with a little bit of meditation and a little bit of fitness, whether it's sprinting, high intensity. It is the base foundation for all my happiness and all my success. and it's free. Do you know, you can literally do
That's
this
true.
stuff for free. You don't need a coach to get started. I never had anyone when I was younger. Having a coach, because I have a coach now because I want to progress, and the only way to get really good at something is to learn from masters, learn from the best. So for example, going back to my other love, piano, I've been doing for a year.
We probably should get you to play a key.
I have a teacher. So when I first started, I was on YouTube, and there's so many tutorials, right?
Yeah.
All free, and that is great. But I'm telling you now, YouTube will only teach you how to press keys. It won't teach you how to play the piano, the cadences, the fluidity, playing soft, playing hard, getting the emotion into the song, you know, the correct fingering. Having an expert, and I do my coach, I'm going to plug him here because he's phenomenal. He looks like a UFC fighter, big Russian guy, been playing since he was a kid, and he is just unbelievable. And how much I've learned in a year compared to what I would have done if I was just YouTubing it is night and day. But you don't, if you haven't got very much money to get started, hit me up and I'll sort you out with some free stuff, because I want everybody to win.
Hit 'em up.
You know what I mean? That's all you need to do. But it's the base for everything, and that's what made me, as I got older, want to help other people find that, to create through physical training an indestructible mindset. And that's literally what it gives me. You know, it gives me that confidence and that belief that anything I set my mind to, through the discipline of physical fitness, I can get it. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, and you mentioned how influential your brothers were in getting you from that chubby kid to what we know now. And you know how much of an impact they had on your lives, and they meant well with it. You know, with that said, can you remember a challenge? Like, what's one of the biggest challenges that you've helped one of your clients with?
Okay, so obviously we know that with men, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong on this stat, but suicide and mental depression is the biggest killer of men in the UK under the age of 35. So mental health, obviously everything I do is revolved around creating happiness through physical fitness that engages the mind and is the best cure for, you're never ever going to get rid of depression, but you can control it better and understand it. But remember, if it gets too far, talk to someone, go and see a doctor, because sometimes physical fitness won't help. It'll alleviate it and it'll give you that bit more, but there's a reason why there's medicines out there, and there's reasons why there's professional doctors. But what I am saying is, I've suffered from depression and stuff like that, and physical fitness has helped me. Now I had a client, I'm not going to name her because I don't want to, but she in her 20s was a super athlete. Like, she ran for Germany and things like that, and in her 30s she got cancer, and I can't remember, but it was in her eye, and she had to have her eye removed and a glass one put in, basically, and you wouldn't have a clue. Like, this woman is beautiful, and if she never told me that she had, like, I wouldn't have had a clue. And this beautiful woman was broken, cancer had completely broken, and this athlete who's so used to being disciplined and being in control, because that's what physical fitness gives you as well, a sense of self and a sense of control over your own actions. You know, you are in control. Cancer can frickin' ruin that and take it away from you. So I've been working with this woman for 2 years, and she's unbelievable. Back to being a super athlete, confidence is up. She's through the confidence of getting fitter again, and it's not about the physical attributes. She's got a six-pack and all that. That's all nice and stuff, but it's all aesthetic and artificial. The physical benefits of this kind of training, of any kind of training, is a byproduct of the mental benefits. That's what excites me about training hard. And from finding her base level again, it gave her that confidence to go for the job that she didn't dare go for, to get that job, and within a year get a promotion, and now set up her own company on her own. So for me, setting that trigger on in her personally has been one of the biggest achievements. To take someone who pretty much given up and did the right thing by seeking help to where she's gone, and to be fair, you have to want to do it. Testament to her, she showed up, whether it was snowing, whether it was pitch black. If she had work at 6 o'clock, we'd be out there at 4 o'clock in the morning. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. But she was at that point in her life where she needed it. It was now or never. So that definitely is up there in the top 3.
You know, and you kind of, this might be one of the responses to my next question. And you know, from the little that I know about you and that I've read, you are a positive person, and positivity is a huge part of your life. And I believe that you believe words are powerful.
Yeah, massively.
The words are very powerful. And you know, speaking of positivity, in the past week, month, or year, tell me the 3 most positive things that have happened in your life.
Okay, so personally, it was finally launching Call and getting that up and running. Something that I've always been afraid of websites and stuff, but I had to practice what I preach. I'm saying if you're struggling, you're growing. So I created that website entirely from scratch, using Wix, of course, by myself. So that's a personal positive thing. Professionally, another one of my clients has just left a big West End job, wanted to get into acting, so I helped him develop his script, his short film, and helped him set up a funding campaign for it. Not only has he got the full funding for it, he's cast the thing, and I also helped him get, because you need that multiple streams of income as a jobbing actor. He's a fully qualified PT and has just started a job in one of the pure gyms down as a fully qualified PT, and he's making his film. So that's a professional one. And a happy one is my mum is in her 80s, and she hasn't been able to walk without a walker for a very long time. She had a serious injury about 5 or 6 years ago, a blood clot on the brain, and she was in a coma for like 6 months back then. Said she was going to die. Said it best case scenario was she was going to be brain damaged if she regained consciousness. Well, she defied all odds. They said she wouldn't remember any of us. She knows exactly who we are, but she's been pretty much wheelchair bound for the last 6 years. But for the last year, she's been able to walk from the couch to the bathroom in a stroller, and now she's taken a couple of steps on her own. And again, that resilience and what is it? I was like, please, Mum, just every day, even if you can't move your legs, if you can't walk and you've still got this, I just made her just put her hands. She's 80-year-old, so even that killed her. You know, going through being in a coma for, it must have been 8 months, and just everything ached, and she was just every time she sat, she'd just do that, and then eventually she'd have little water bottles in there, and then eventually I had her doing this. She just, like, because it hurt, and then eventually getting up with a stroller in front of her, just those small progressions. But again, if someone gives up, it doesn't matter how much help they get, it's gone. So it has to come. It has to come from you, essentially. You know, it has to come from you. So they're my 3 things.
Wow! You have 3 really good ones, especially the one with your mom.
Yeah.
You know, that's
family's everything,
amazing.
right? Yeah.
It's amazing that you know what the doctors were saying.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you didn't take that, and you believed that she was going to recover. You believed that she was going to be okay. And it goes back again to just speaking positively, just kind of putting things out there in the atmosphere, or to God, or your God, whoever it is, and just believing until it materializes.
You have to, and she is like, if you're talking about role models, she's the ultimate role model. She brought up 9 kids on no money in the 70s, 80s and 90s, single parent. She's gone through so much. I've even written the story of her life, so watch this space.
We'll look out for that. Here goes something else.
Yeah, but then like even recently with all the coronavirus that's going on, my mum fell and like fractured a hip. So it's just one thing. You're like, can this woman get a break? And she ended up forced to go into hospital, and we didn't want her to go because of coronavirus and stuff like that. So long story short, she's in the hospital. They test her on day 1 for COVID because she's in there for a hip.
Yeah.
Negative. Test her on day 2, negative. Test her on day 3, positive. Because of her age, they went, look, if she gets any worse, there's nothing we can do for her. Can't revive her because her chest is weak. So my sister, again, family, took it upon herself to remove my mum from the hospital and took her home. And luckily enough, because my mum was asymptomatic, so basically that means she tested positive, but she wasn't showing any physical symptoms. She just rode it out, and like luckily never. But again, she could have easily gone, oh, do you know, all these things are happening to me, and that's when it goes. So every time I think, oh, I've had a rubbish day, I think of my mum, and I'm like, shut up. You don't know what a rubbish day is. Yeah, you don't know what hardship is. And I just give my head a shake, and we all do that, but you just have to like bring yourself back to the present moment.
Yeah, and that's what our moms are for, because I'll complain, oh my god, I'm going to take the bus. And she's like, bus? So we were growing up, we didn't have bus. We had to walk for 10 miles, and the shoe had a hole in it, and I'm like, really? It's not that bad. But, you know, they had it so much harder, and they persevered.
Massively.
And they didn't complain as much as we do. You know, we complain if the TV isn't working or our phones are down, we can't function.
We are soft. We live in an Epicurean world, and we need to get back to more stoic, the way our parents were, that more stoicism. Like my mum, she had no money, like, so she'd go to charity shops, and whatever they give her, she'd take, and she'd always try and get wool things, and she'd unravel them, and then from scratch knit her kids clothes. That was how she like put clothes on the older kids' backs, and that's how she was earning money. You know, she invested in like a sewing machine and just spent day and night sewing stuff for people and flogging it. Unbelievable, like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
And so now, you know, we're gonna lighten things up a little, and we're gonna play a little game.
A game.
Yeah, a game for season 2. As I mentioned, you know, in prior episodes, season 2 is all about minding your P's. So there are 3 P's that we focus on. 1 is your position, 2 is your passion, and 3 is your purpose.
Yeah.
So this game is called Minding Your P's.
Right, nice.
And what it is I have been on your social media platforms. I picked 5 pictures. I want you to blindly pick one.
No!
And in the picture, I want you to give me a quick background story of what it is you were doing there, and if at all you were minding any of your P's, you know, did you know what your passion was at that point? Did you have any? Did you know your purpose? And so forth. So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4,
I just have to pick
5,
one.
and pick 1.
Oh my good God. So, a little bit of a backstory on that. So that is the press night of the History Boys for the Royal National Theatre. I'm 29 years old there. So yeah, I knew my passion was obviously acting. My purpose, that was one of my main goals when I was at drama college, was to work at the National Theatre. And this was after the rehearsal process and the opening night was finished. This was my outfit in the dressing room at the Wyndham's Theatre in Leicester Square. And like, I may look like I'm super duper confident, but it was all false bravado. And like, when I look at that, I'm like, well done, kid. I just wish I'd have sat and enjoyed the moment more instead of being so nervous and fearful, because we all have, well, not all of us, but for a very long time, I had what's called imposter syndrome, where I didn't, even though I was doing these things, I was like, I'm going to get found out any minute, and they're going to go, oh, you're not good enough, you shouldn't be doing this job. So that's what you can see in the eyes, that like trying to be cool and stuff, giving it my best Zoolander, but behind that is like behind that is a frightened little boy who, if he'd have just had better mentors, you know, who in the industry, and that's nobody's fault, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbled. I would have, if I'd have had me, I'd have said to this kid, mate, you good enough, you work damn hard, just enjoy it and let the chips fall where they're going to fall, just keep enjoying what you're doing.
What about this kid?
Oh my god.
You don't have to answer that
Oh
one.
no,
But
it's
these,
fine. Like I
these
said.
are all yours. No
Yeah.
one takes pictures anymore. But
Right.
that one I wanted to find out.
So this was my last day at school. I'm 15 years old. Didn't have a clue what I knew what I wanted to do, and my passion was always acting. But at this point, nobody knew. Nobody knew that I loved to read. Nobody knew that I was a boxer. That's what I was. I was going to college to do A-levels in English and stuff because it was easy, where the reality was I fucking loved English. Oh, sorry for swearing. But and that's really what I wanted to do. But I was again just hidden away from everything, and it took me a very long time to have the confidence to open up and go for my true passion, purpose in life. But yeah, again, a lot of growing. And if I could say to that kid one thing, it's like, don't listen to them. Just go do it.
Just do it.
Just go do it. Don't listen to anybody unless they're walking your walk. Go do it. So that's that one.
Yeah, and you know, you can look at these. And what is next? What's next for the Key of Life? What's on the horizon?
So yeah, there's quite a lot of things going on, but the main thing that I'm excited about is launching the clothing line, which has been something that I love. I live in gym gear and more like casual clothing. So next month I have a wonderful designer and a wonderful pattern cutter who used to work for Catherine Hamner, Alexander McQueen.
Ooh.
And they're designing, like, there's going to be a couple of original pieces. I'm going to release an original piece only like once or twice a year, which will be handmade from scratch. So that's what I'm really, really excited about for the Key of Life. And again, just with the Instagram channel, helping everybody just find their confidence through physical activity, finding their mental agility and strength through that. So that's what's next.
Okay, now that we have an idea of what Cola is all about, Mr. Uppal was kind enough to show someone like me, who's not really in the gym that much, a beginner, just a quick demonstration, something that someone like me can actually do. So I'm gonna let him start off and see if I want to join.
Okay, so we start with our legs apart.
Okay.
And have you
I
seen
can do
The
that.
Office?
Wait, no.
Jokes. Apologies. So basically, on the website there is now this beginners, shameless plug by the way, there's a beginners and the intermediates just being released. So this is an ebook and it's a body weight training program. Like that's what it is. It's body weight only, so all you need is a mat. And the reason why I made a beginners one is because there's so many people who are afraid of gyms or just don't understand calisthenics. So I wanted to give those people the opportunity to learn, and there is going to be intermediate, which is already out, and advanced. So when they get that confidence, they can go right to the top. So all we're going to do is, I printed this off, it is an ebook, but just for this, it's easier to get in and we're going to do this first session here. We're just going to do one round of it.
Yes.
Because if we did the full 3 rounds,
Then
it'd be
I would
like,
die.
we'd be here for the sessions are around about 30 minutes long. So we'll just do one session. So we're going to do this one, which is a HIIT fat burning shred. Now, the misconception when people think core shredder, they think, oh, loads of sit-ups, I'm going to get a ripped core. You actually are, but the irony is you don't get a ripped core by doing loads of sit-ups. You do by doing calisthenics, lots of high-intensity interval training work that sheds the fat, and then you do the toning, which tones up the muscles that are laid underneath the fat. So, for a beginner, all we're going to do, we get a 60-second break in between, so I'm going to use my phone to time the break. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exercises. We do jump squats, jumping jacks, leg lunges, high knees, jab cross kicks, low plank hold. But we'll start with those jump squats. Let's get this time. Okay, so with a jump squat, because it's a beginners, we're only doing 10 reps, and I'll just demonstrate first. What I want you to do is take a slightly wider stance, knees and toes facing out, so you've got a nice base. When we lower down, imagine there's a wall in front of you, so I'm not going to lean forward like this. Go straight down. Heels are on the floor from here. I'm going to come up and land with them legs. Jump squats, so we're going to do 10. Let's go.
I can't get up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you take your rest. Now, if we were doing an intermediate version of that exercise, it'd be a tuck jump. So you've gone from one kind of jump to another one. Intermediate, your hands will be in front of you. So that'd be an intermediate level. Advanced level for that exercise would be a burpee tuck jump. So they're the 3 different levels.
Nice.
Exercise number 2, beginners, jumping jack. So again, people get this wrong, they do this. I don't know what that is, it's not a jumping jack.
Okay.
You want full range of motion. So my hands come up, they touch above my head when my legs are out. I'm on my toes so my heels never touch the floor. And when my legs come together, my hands come together. We're going to do 10. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest. So a beginner will get 60 seconds rest right now. If you're doing an intermediate version of that exercise, star jump, you crouch down, you're here.
Okay.
That's intermediate. Advanced is widen up. They're the 3 different levels for that exercise. That's it, out and in. That's it.
I feel like I did that in church.
Take your rest. So, exercise number 3 is leg lunges. So again, technique is key. And if you're unsure of anything, guys, there's links for every single exercise with me doing what I'm doing here, demonstrating everything. So I'm going to do it from the side with a leg lunge, same thing as a jump squat. But imagine there's a pane of glass in front of me. Everything's central. I'm going to use the heel of my front foot to push back to the start, switch legs. Keep that upper body high, the back leg wants to go down an inch off the floor. Back to the start, that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Get used to the midgie, 6.
I think my flowers are
7,
attracting the bees.
8, 9, and 10, and rest. Again, a beginner will get 60 seconds rest. If you were intermediate, you switch that into jump squats. Advanced, 2 options. You've either got seesaws, which is a balletic move, or you've got scissor kicks, where you're here.
I prefer this.
There we go. So that's the 3 variations of the jump lunge, from beginner to intermediate to advanced. Exercise number 4 is the same for beginner, intermediate and advanced. The only difference is the speed in which you do it. So for a beginner, we're doing 10 each leg. All we're doing, high knees, getting them as high as you can. 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Intermediate and advanced just goes on your pace. Get your legs even higher. From the side, from the back, all the differences. 60 seconds rest. Now you've got 10 basic jab cross kicks. Left foot forward, right foot back. Are you southpaw? What's your strongest hand?
My strongest hand, right.
You're right, so you want your right foot back, left foot forward. That's your jabbing hand. Left, so left, you rub the left.
Yeah,
there we go.
Makeup.
Right, left, right foot comes forward, so, and then lean back, left kick.
So it's left,
1, 2, right, left. That's 1. So left, right, left. That's 2. 1, 2, right, left. Slow it down, because the beginners. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You hit that all the way up to 10. I lost count there.
10.
If we were doing an intermediate, it's just faster. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, and a burpee tuck jump on the end of it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, you on your own.
Advanced is burpee knees. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, down, knee to the face. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, opposite knee to the face.
That's like karate.
It's Thai boxing. So that's a mix. Exercise number, the final exercise.
Woo!
Please
The final
know.
one.
It's a low plank hold. Now I'll just demonstrate. So everyone knows how to do this, but not everyone knows how to do it correctly. Like a goalpost with your hands, elbows rolled in, feet touching together. Now can you see how high my bum is? Ideally you'd have a mirror so you can see you're not sagging. You keep it straight. Shoulders and elbows underneath each other. You hold this for 15 to 30 seconds as a beginner. Intermediate, you're up here and you're tapping. Advanced, you do low plank to high plank transitions. Without moving, without doing this, keep that body straight. Your turn.
Oh, I thought you
Low
were
plank.
just showing.
No. 30 seconds.
Wait, so what am I doing?
So palms facing down, feet out, get those hips lower, breathe, there we go, and hold it there. Hold. That's 5 seconds. Keep breathing. 10 seconds.
Your seconds are awfully slow.
It's on a timer. 15. 20. 25. And 30 time. So guys, as you can see, even from one round of hardly anything, what's that, 5-10 minutes, I'm sweating like crazy. The great thing about this kind of training, guys, is it creates the afterburn effect in the body. So once you've done the circuit, you are burning fat for the next 48 hours, and that's not me spouting out of my head, that's the scientific fact. So high intensity interval training, the reason why this is called the core shredder is because it's shredding that fat and turning your body into a fat burning furnace that will give you those abs, not doing thousands of sit-ups day in and day out. So that was one round. If you were to do this on your own, you'd have another 90 seconds rest, and then you'd go again, and you do it 3 rounds through. But every week you keep a progress track. If it starts to get easy, you add more reps, or you add an extra round. You know, always challenge yourself. So in the beginners, the foundational course, there's 4 different days. There's only 4 days of training, and it's mixed between day 1 is high intensity interval training, day 2 is upper body strength and toning, day 3 back to high intervals, day 4 is the legs. And that's a basic foundation of the core shredder program. As you can see, I've been doing this stuff for years, and it's still, if you know your levels, you know where to push yourself to get that little bit of extra, and that's what you've got to do all the time. Know yourself. The only way you can know yourself is by doing the work. Oh,
you're set. Wait. Woo!
Let's see, you get one of them in.
I got one. Why you have to show me up? I'm gonna go hide. Thank you. And thank you everyone out there for continuing to watch The Inside Job. Your loves, your likes, your comments, your subscriptions are greatly appreciated. So don't forget to comment and like if you enjoyed our host today. I'm your host. Our guest, our guest today. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe below, and share the word, spread the word, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your dogs. Dogs, they have their own social media page nowadays. Tell everyone, and until next time, thank you for watching The Inside Job, and have a wonderful week.
Peace.
Bye.